Hello. You know what? I've had enough of the world we live in. I want to go on a journey far away to a distant planet, and I'd like you to come with me. On this planet, the population is hugely varied. They have different cultures, their faces, skin colours and sizes are all different. They also have people with disabilities, such as blind people, people without limbs, and people in wheelchairs. This population as a whole are greatly focused on the food they produce and the way it's cooked, ensuring that they grow tall and strong and able to learn. There isn't a large variety of food to choose from, but rather a small, more considered selection. Some of the people here are thin and malnourished because they have great difficulty eating the food on offer. This is because their food pipes are shaped differently from the rest of the population, stopping them from consuming the food. Some of this group have tried the different foods outside of the normal selection on offer. After a few attempts of eating the food, they realise they're able to consume it successfully. Over time, this group have banded together, sharing information about what food they are able to eat. So the wider population gave this group some land on which to grow their special food produce. This food is cooked differently to the normal selection of food on offer, and when eaten, the previously malnourished group grow tall and strong and able to learn, which is great. Some individuals in the wider population try the new special food and really enjoy it. Others try but they don't like the taste, most likely because they've grown up eating the normal selection and they're used to that. In fact, most of the population don't like the new food, thinking it's strange, some not even trying it or only trying it once or twice. This has led to the two communities becoming distant from each other, the wider population pushing the smaller into obscurity. Lots of people within the wider population do actually have different shaped food pipes, but they don't know that there are foods available which they can consume easily. This means that they're trapped in ignorance. I'd like to tell you a story now. Some couples in the wider population have babies born and diagnosed by the doctor as having a different shaped food pipe. The parents are immediately grief-stricken, worrying how they'll match the child's needs as they don't know how to cook the foods properly. The doctor says that there's a cure. He says that they need to feed the child the food more forcefully. The parents take this advice, and when they get back to their home, they begin to force the food into the child's mouth. The child suffers this process with discomfort, but with every mouthful he swallows, his parents are visibly elated. Seeing this, the child is happy to please his mother and father. The child's eagerness to please is misconstrued by the parents as enjoyment and happiness with the forced feeding process. The doctors then call for more money to be invested into research for a cure, and huge amounts of money are given to the doctor's cause. The smaller community require funding for research into how to properly grow and expand their foods, but only tiny amounts are given to the minority groups, as they're so small in comparison. As these children grow older, they still have difficulty eating and gaining nourishment from the forced food. Of course, some do so successfully, but for most it's a fruitless struggle. Because of this, eventually the wider population do decide to use some special food to feed those among them. However, the people still remain thin and malnourished. The minority group explained that this is because it requires specific cooking to properly gain nourishment, so they accept this and learn from the smaller community. But they only learn about the food to a level 1 or 2 standard, not to a high quality level like 6. They think that these low levels are enough to begin cooking and feeding those among them, ignoring the protests and warnings from minority groups that they should learn to a high level. The children being fed this low quality food are angry because it tastes disgusting, which is seen by the wider population as them being naughty or having a mental impairment. The minority group explained that this is because they've not cooked the food properly, but these objections are ignored. This situation continues. The children grow up thin, weak and submissive. The smaller groups shrink and can't progress. The wider population see no need for the land to be given to the small group and subsequently take it off them. The smaller group protest that they need the land, but the wider population argue that their forced feeding process is working well, and because they've not received any complaints or refusals, they should continue. The smaller group explain that this is because after so long of feeding them the wrong foods, they become too weak to object, but this is dismissed. The situation continues with the smaller group unable to develop and their protests being disregarded. So, the small community remains stagnant while the wider population thrive. If the smaller group disappear completely, those who need but have never tried the special food will have lost out on nourishment that it could have provided. Who should work to protect the smaller group? Should they be expected to protect themselves, or should the wider population take this responsibility? What do you think?